Hi, so I'm taking a trip down memory lane here and going through over 15 years of Amazon.com starting in 1999. So you see in 1999, Amazon.com was purely a bookstore. They had other things such as music, video, and toys here and there, but they were mainly known as a bookstore. They sold books. Their competition was Borders and mainly Barnes& and Noble. But you'll see here that they do have these two interesting topics here, which is the e-cards category and the auctions. And we know by now that the auctions quickly went away, but they started that to give competition for eBay. So you'll see here in a couple of months later, 1999, they introduced Z-Shops. And what Z-Shops is, it was the preliminary precursor to Amazon Marketplace. So actually in 2006, Z-Shops became the Amazon Marketplace. So in the next year, December 19th, 2000, you'll see, interestingly enough, they're actually trying to sell cars here on Amazon.com. I think we know that didn't work out all that well. And they also introduced the international Amazon.com websites, but you'll see they have a new layout and new categories. So they've expanded here where they're doing different types of products, kitchen products, and a slew of different type of categories here. So that's when they started ramping up in 2000 and doing expanding more into consumer products. So the next year, 2001, you'll see was the big event in the United States where we had 9/11. So this is September 14th, and you'll see that there is this donation here for 9/11 Red Cross relief. So this was a big time in the history of our country. And you'll notice still here we're in 2001. They've done a partnership with Target, and they had this special Target button. But this is when they started, again, entering consumer products in 2001, and they'll do several partnerships with a lot of retail stores. And I do want to note that I have this browser sized in this manner because back then the screens were not widescreen, so how you viewed the browser was more like a squarish or more like a rectangle that was squarish, and the view was a lot smaller than what we have today with the wide screens. So this was 2001, and you'll see 2002, it's more the same. They still have the Target button here 1 year later. And I believe this is when they also started doing a lot of things with Toys R Us, expanding the toys and that retail area. But you'll see the general layout of the store and the categories is roughly the same. I mean, they have the feature stores here, but if you look back here, it's somewhat similar. And now you go to 2003. In 2003 here, you'll see they are partnering up with Toys R Us, again, going into the retail area. I do want to note here that there's a flip phone here. So this was way before the sort of smartphone days. And keep in mind, the iPhone came out in the summer of 2007. So right now, people are still using Blackberries. And next here, you'll see it's roughly more of the same. Nothing has changed too much, but you'll see they changed the font size here, expanding it once again into more areas. So you'll see home and garden here, babies. So it's really become more of a superstore here. But you'll see they have partnerships here with Babies R Us, Office Depot, Target, and Toys R Us. And just to show you, the menu here morphing and becoming a little bit more detailed year after year into these tiny fonts here. So the next year here is 2004. and there's nothing too interesting about this. And this layout, a lot of us remember, it's sort of like the blue layout where they've collapsed a lot of the categories up here. Nothing too interesting. So the next year it's sort of more the same. Notice they changed the font size here, and they did add a lot of the search functionality here. So you'll see the big difference here is this search box, which in the past you had to drill down into the categories. So that's something interesting to note here. It was just in 2006 where they actually added this search box. And you'll see there's a Samsung HD TV, and it looks very primitive here. And 2007 was when the iPhone came out in the summer of 2007, but also you'll see the Kindle actually came out in 2007 also, the Amazon's revolutionary wireless reading device. And look how bulky this thing is. It looks like basically a mini laptop here. And so it's interesting to see how much that has morphed. So that was 2007, and you'll see the layout of the page has also changed. They once again collapsed a lot of the menus and put it more on this left menu here. And this is the next year in 2008, more or less the same. You'll see some of these sort of primitive netbooks that you see, which were mini laptops, and they do have an advertisement for sort of the iPhone here. And they started doing the Audible devices. And just want to scroll down and show you some of these, where they have Amazon Prime now. So next is, we're getting pretty close to modern day here, but even though it's close to modern day, this is still 2009. And once again, they're showcasing the Kindle here in during Christmas time. And I'm going to scroll down. You could see some of these other gadgets that they have. Cyber Monday deals here. And this is when we reach 2010. So this is 2010 here. And you'll see this is the second iteration, or maybe the third iteration of the Kindle, which is a great improvement here. So just 1 year later, they have something, well, I suppose it's 3 years later here, where the Kindle was introduced in 2007, and it was only 3 years later where this looks a little bit more modern. And you'll see some of the menu here. So by now it's pretty modern. They have a full-fledged array of categories that you could buy from. And now I'm gonna switch to more modern day, the more modern day website here. So that was 2010, 2011, and this is 2011 also. And you'll see now they have 3 types of Kindles, and these Kindles look pretty primitive at this point. They still look very boxy, and they weren't always touch here, but you'll see that the site is basically the same. They've switched up some of the sub-menus and tabs up here. They don't have that anymore. But you'll notice in 2012 was when everything changed. So you notice they got rid of the left menu here, and there's no tabs up here, and it's just simply a search. And you're wondering maybe why is that? And this is because the tablets became ubiquitous, and it was full-fledged tablet. So this website has been simplified to be tablet friendly, and you'll see that a lot of what we recognize here with the cart and the wish list is now right here. And you'll see they have basically Amazon Prime being one of their major pushes into sort of extra services for the consumer. But you'll see how simplified the website itself is. It's basically just plain white now. And they do have some of the sub-menus in the bottom here, but for the most part it's basically plain white. And more of the same in 2013, not too different. And this is 2014 and 2015. So that's really it. That's pretty much the end-to-end of the last 15 years of Amazon.com. And let me show you that more in succession. So this is 1999. This is still 1999, a couple of months later. This is year 2000, 2001, 9/11, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, and skipping over to 2011 here, 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, and 15. So there you go. That was over 15 years of the Amazon.com website, and I hope you found that interesting, and thank you for watching.